Welcome back to the Freak Show. I'm Finley, and today we are going to watch the Shoe0nHead. For anybody who doesn't know, I have been a longtime follower of Shoe. And while I don't consider myself like the most politically smart person, I do try to kind of stay informed. Yeah. Yeah, so we're just gonna dive right into this and get her thoughts on what's going on with this push for war.
So, what happened? Well, a few weeks ago, our government had a "that's so Raven" premonition. They had a vision and they saw into the future. They saw that Iran was going to attack Israel, so we went ahead and attacked Iran. Now we're in some bullshit war. No, I am not joking. That's basically what happened. Despite the Pentagon saying there was no proof Iran was going to attack, it came to us in a dream. Source: we made it the f up. Now, there are many reasons floating around for this war. Israel, China, Russia, oil, Iran being 2 weeks away from having a nuclear bomb for the past 40 years, bringing democracy to Iran, and many other things, and we can discuss those things. Maybe it's all those things at the same time. But there is one thing I feel is just not getting enough attention. And that is the many people in our government who believe in a literal doomsday prophecy about this war, and are possibly pushing our president to take the necessary steps to make it happen. No, I am not joking.
Hey, psyops are real. Okay, we'll just listen. I'm, like I said, I'm not very I'm not that informed. I try to be, but also not that much. But also yes, it's hard to avoid it, but I don't know.
No, this is not a conspiracy theory. This is not the Candace Owens channel. This is a real thing, and we gotta talk about it. Now, I know I keep saying the next video is going to be a slop video. I know, I'm sorry, but things just keep happening. But that's okay, it will be over quick, and then we can get to the more important issues, like making fun of women on TikTok. So in this video, we will talk about this f***ass war. We will discuss the strange characters who are encouraging it, the doomsday cult they belong to, and I will crash out a little bit.
Wait.
Okay.
Okay, guys, don't think that I'm fucking stupid or anything. I know that I'm retarded, but do cults still exist? Is that a really dumb question? Do cults actually still exist today, in 2026? Is that real? Yeah, is that real?
A lot of it. The Iran war is an extremely hot topic that affects literally everything, from the stock market to gas prices to possible World War III. It feels like I wake up every morning and 5 major historical events have happened while I was sleeping overnight. Yeah. So it's pretty hard to keep up with the news lately. And that's why for 5 years now, I have been using today's sponsor, Ground News. So let's quickly give them a shout out before we get into this video, shall we?
Oh no, sponsor.
Ground News is a website and an app that gives readers a fun, easy, and transparent way to read the news from all across the political spectrum, from left, right, and center. Every story comes with a quick visual breakdown of political bias that helps you understand the full story and really make sure you're seeing both sides. It even tells you who these outlets are owned by, which is really cool. Ground News makes it really easy to compare headlines to see how political bias can really affect the framing of a story. For example, this story about how Trump says he's postponing strikes on Iran power plants. A right-wing outlet covered it like, oil goes down and the stock exchanges go back up to the green after Donald Trump talks about Iran. And a left-wing outlet covered it like, surprise, Trump tacoed out of his plan to obliterate Iranian power plants. As you can see, very different vibes here. One of my favorite features on Ground News has to be the blind spot feature, which shows you news stories that have been covered by one side of the political spectrum and ignored by the other. For example, here's a story about how Trump is still more popular than Kamala Harris and Gavin Newsom, despite everything that's going on. but they're still gonna run them in 2028, aren't they? 29 sources covered this, 70% of them were right-wing, and only 15% were left-wing, probably because it's a little embarrassing. I have been using Ground News for years now. It is one of the first apps I look at when I wake up in the morning. But don't just take my word for it. Even the Nobel Peace Center called it an excellent way to stay informed, avoid echo chambers, and expand your worldview. Best of all, I am currently offering 40% off their Vantage plan.
Okay, so like, we need more people like Shoe. Like, look, I know that I'm not like the most informed person, but like, we need people like her who give us digestible content that is like more like, I really think that she's like middle of the road. Like, I don't think that she's on like either side. And that's why I like her so much, is that she just realizes that like everybody is fucking retarded. And so like I really appreciate that perspective. And it helps people like me who aren't going to like do all of this research have somebody like reliable to come to like learn things, I guess, you know?
Which is the plan I use to get all of their amazing features. So go to ground.news/shoe, that's ground.news/shoe, or use the QR code right here on screen, or the link in the video description. I think what they're doing is really important, especially right now. I feel like we need to see the news in a more transparent and balanced way. It is just a really great app and I recommend it. So thank you Ground News for sponsoring this video, and thank you the viewer for not skipping the ad, as always. Right? Now, let's get back to the video.
Right. Yeah, we would never do that to you,
Happy day
Queen.
24 of the special 2-week military operation, everybody. We did it!
We did
Mission
it.
accomplished. I feel like every day I wake up and Trump is like, we won. And then something else blows up. And then again, he's like, we won. And then we're back at war, but it's not a war. But we won the war. Hey, maybe it will be over by the time this video uploads, because apparently Iran wants to talk to JD Vance. JD Vance is apparently the peacemaker here. Imagine the Iran war. Imagine possible World War III even. In the hands of a Shoe0nHead fan. We're all gonna die. People word for word, bar for bar, repeating the NPC talking points that we heard during the Iraq war. This Middle Eastern country is building weapons of mass destruction. They hate America. We're gonna bring them democracy. It's all the same shit. It's all the same people pushing for this shit. Only this time we have social media and we are seeing war propaganda from all sides being debunked right in front of our eyes. Social.
Okay, so like, okay, this is gonna show you how fucking stupid I am. I don't even know if I was like born during the Iran war. Let me look this up. Or not the Iran war, that's right now. Wait, was there another Iran war? Wait, am I thinking of the Iraq war? I might be thinking of the Iraq war. Oh no, there was a previous Iran war. I was definitely not born then. That was the 80s. Oh fuck, okay. But I was thinking of the Iraq war. When was the Iraq war? When did that end? Look, if you guys think that the public school system failed us, it did. Yeah, it did. Oh, no, so it was still going on when I was born, but I was not born when it started. Okay.
Social media has like truly been the worst thing that has ever happened to the government. Imagine like getting away with decades and decades of propaganda now being debunked in real time by people called like pee poo poo 69. Brutal. Sorry, I have to like white balance my camera. I'm using... It's story time. I'm gonna be the new Miss Rachel. Today's number is 7.
Mommy
Shoe. We're gonna talk about Tower 7. Anyway, I'm not the kind of person that's like, oh, I hope Iran wins. That's like, I saw people saying that, like, that is psychotic.
Wait.
I don't want to go down with the USS Great Satan. You know what?
Wait, are people unironically saying that they want Iran to win. Like, what the fuck? Who says that? Who raised those people? Wait, like, I mean, I guess if they're Iranian, but like, if American people are saying that, like, are they okay? Like, I'm fucking mentally retarded, and I still wouldn't say that.
What I mean, like, if we're in a war, I want to win the war. I just don't understand why there has to be a war. We know regime change doesn't work. We've tried this already. It never works. We always make shit worse. We're not the world police. There are so many people all over the world suffering, but our priority as America is to take care of Americans. Yeah. And the American people are suffering. And now we're asking for $200 billion for war? $200 billion. Notice nobody's like, who's gonna pay for that? When it's shit like war, but when it's for your mom's diabetes medication, it's pull yourselves up by your bootstraps. $200 billion while American situations have not gotten any better. In fact, they're just going to get worse now. Everything is going to get more expensive, but that's okay, apparently. That's okay. That's not a concern.
The U.S. economy is fundamentally sound.
Okay, this is something that I can talk about, okay? I was actually talking about this, like, on stream yesterday. And as, like, a young person in this economy, we are, like, super duper extra, like, super fucked. Because I, like, literally do not know when I'm gonna be able to move out of my parents' house. Like, rent here where I live for a 400 square foot, one bedroom apartment is like, I looked it up last night. It was $2,800, and that was the cheapest one. $2,800, 400 square feet, one bedroom. I have never worked before. I have never had a job. What kind of job am I ever going to get for my first fucking job? It's going to pay me enough to live on my own. Like, what? Like, I dead ass just don't know how I'm, like, ever going to be, like, an independent adult. Like, I just cannot comprehend it. So I do feel, like, personally victimized by all of this shit. Like, it's, like, bad. People think that we're, like, exaggerating, but we're not. Like, it's really this bad. And, like, people are like, "Oh, we'll just, like, move away, like, move to somewhere cheaper." Well, like, first off, like, moving is not free. Like, moving is not free. And also, like, moving away from your entire family and your support system also presents, like, a lot of challenges that, like, people don't think about. So, like, it's not really a solution. People just, like, think it is. They're like, "Oh, well, like, you're from California, so, like, just move away from California." Okay, but, like, I'm a single mom. I move away from California, and, like, who helps me with baby clown? Like, what do I do if I have an emergency and my emergency contact is in California? My parents are not gonna be able to, like, have the money to, like, fly to wherever I am and, like, help me if anything, like, happens to me. It's like it's just, like, not as easy as people say, and I feel like we're just the worst off, like, generation that's still alive, like, deadass. I think that we're absolutely chopped. Like, I have no hope for my future.
And that if it were to be extended, it wouldn't really disrupt the U.S. economy very much at all. It would hurt consumers, and we'd have to think about, if that continued, what we would have to do about that. But that's, like, really the last of our concerns right now.
Consumers, that's what we are to these people. Just good little obedient bug people, gonna go see a Marvel movie, maybe buy a Labubu, eat a little Dubai chocolate. We have no soul, no lives, no families to take care of. We are just consumed. And when we can't take care of those families, you know what their solution is? What's their solution? Take fewer trips to Starbucks.
Yeah. I have an opinion that'll get me canceled, though. I think that Labubus are fucking ugly. I cannot stand them. And I love like a plushie. I love a collectible, but like I don't know, those things look like fucking satanic. I just don't like them.
If I say what I am thinking, I will be banned off YouTube, so I will simply be silent. Gas is gonna be like a fucking $1 billion, but that's okay, guys. Short-term pain, long-term gain.
This is a short-term disruption for the long-term gain.
Short-term pain for the
I don't
long-term
think it
gain.
works that way,
Short-term pain for
twin.
long-term gain.
We're going to have some short-term pain with long-term gain.
Short-term pay for a long-term gain.
Some short-term pain, yes, but we've got some long-term gain.
Short-term pain for American consumers.
Short-term is highly outweighed of the long-term benefit.
Some short-term pain for the
Fucking
long-term
cope.
gain.
What in the
Fucking
NPCS is
cope.
this? It is your patriotic American duty to unplug the TVs in your parents' and grandparents' house right now. Destroy their satellite dishes. Log them out of Facebook. It is up to us to stop the boomers from sending the Zoomers to another war in the Middle East. The amount of people who were anti-regime change war, like last Thursday, who have completely 180'd is fucking insane. I literally have no theory of mind for being that hyper partisan brained. Like, a lot of these people are just like totally for this now because it's Trump doing it. Some of you are
Okay. So, okay. Fucking listen. Okay, look, I'm not like that with it with politics, and I'm not like that smart or anything, but this is the same fucking shit that happened. Okay, look, I don't have like any real feelings either way with like what's going on with ICE, but I do think this. Look, I do think that this is a very similar turnaround. When the guy who had the gun, like at the protest with ICE, when he had the gun and they were like, oh, well, we had to shoot him because he had a gun. The same people that were saying that are people who are like very pro-gun. They're like, oh, well, like you can't bring a gun to a protest. But like they were the same people bringing guns to the like January 26th like riots and protests and stuff. And like I don't feel like I am woke. I don't feel like I'm chud. I just kind of like feel like I try to make like, I don't know, I like do my best to try to like wade through and sort through the shit and like understand things for what they really are. And I feel like this, like the anti-war thing, and the pro-war thing is like super similar to like that experience because everybody was like, oh, well, I don't want the government like touching my guns. Like my guns are my life. Like this is my Second Amendment right. And then all of a sudden they were just like, oh no, it's perfectly legal for and understandable for like the government to shoot you because you had a gun. Like I feel like this is kind of the same thing. They're just like, oh, well, like, I don't want to be in any foreign wars. I think that our focus should be like on the American people. And then all of a sudden, they're just like, oh, well, I guess we're going to war. Like, what? Like, do you just not have a backbone? Do you just like not have a fucking spine? Like, I'm a fucking like subby bottom, and even I will like stand up for things that I like truly believe. So like, what kind of cuck are you if you can change your stance on things like so easily? And that's not saying that like people can't change their mind and they can't like gain more education or gain more information and then make informed decisions about like what they believe in and what they stand for. But like the turnaround, like the fucking whiplash is diabolical. Absolutely diabolical. I hate it.
cattle. Some of you are weak. You are submissive and breedable.
Yes.
The only politician I simp for is Huey Long, and
Fuck
that's
it.
because he's dead and can't disappoint me. The worst part about this whole war thing is not the death and destruction and possible economic collapse and nuclear fallout, but the fact that it's good for the Democrats. They will probably win midterms, and if things get worse, they will probably win 2028 too. Without learning any lesson, without changing at all, they will literally run on Orange Man bad and win. I am tired of politics. I am tired of voting. Take away the 19th Amendment. I don't want it. I don't want it. The men can have it. The men can deal with it.
Win.
I'm done. I'm tired of voting for pee-pee or poo-poo and always getting diarrhea. I'm done. The end. End of video. Sorry. Mommy's not mad. She's just disappointed. Anyway, like I said, there are many
Sorry,
stated
Mommy.
reasons behind this war. One of the things people blame this war on a lot is Israel. Many people believe that Iran was not an immediate threat to us, and that this is just another conflict that Israel is dragging us into, making us fight their war for them. Because of this and everything that's happened in Gaza, Israel's PR is in the toilet. Polls are showing Israel is becoming extremely unpopular, especially with young people. It's getting so bad that the Israeli government literally had to pay internet influencers to say good things about them. No, I'm not kidding. This is a real thing that happened. It was filed with the US Department of Justice. They undisclosed paid a bunch of YouTubers, TikTokers, Twitter personalities to run defense for them last year, and they are most likely still doing that today. Imagine losing the internet PR war to 20-year-olds with anime avatars making TikTok edits of Jeffrey Epstein and Agartha.
Not the anime girls. Oh no. Yeah, anime girls shouldn't be talking about politics, right? Right, chat? Yeah. We don't know what we're talking about. To be fair, I'm at least open,
And listen,
so like I don't really
people
know.
are tired of everybody blaming Israel for everything. Like, oh, I stubbed my toe this morning, it was Israel. They associate criticism of Israel with people like Hassan Piker or Candace Owens. They are just tired, and I get it. Hopefully I can bring some nuance into this discussion. Not everything is Israel's fault, but when it comes to the Middle East in particular, when it comes to American foreign policy, Israel is extremely relevant. This is a historical fact, and if we are going to be attached to the hip to this country, we should absolutely be allowed to talk about it without a bitch in our ear calling it anti-Semitism. It is 2026. We are done with the thought-terminating buzzwords. We are done with the ists and the isms. These don't work anymore. It's not racist to criticize Black Lives Matter. It's not sexist to criticize feminism. It is not anti-Semitic to criticize a foreign country. And frankly, in my opinion, the worst thing you can do for Jewish people right now is conflate the nation of Israel with Jewish people as a whole. Like, what are you doing?
They're like
you don't
so
want the world
far
to
removed
end?
from it
Some
at
kind of
this point,
nuclear
right?
Holocaust? What are you? An anti-Semite? It's like when there's legislation to give pedophiles the death penalty and people come out like, this is transphobic. It's like,
That was actually really fucking stupid of me. Obviously, like, Israel is still their holy land, but like, American Jews don't like live in Israel, and most of them at this point probably don't have like family in Israel. So I guess what I'm trying to say is that like, for the most part, Israel foreign policy isn't as important to people as it used to be when like they still had like, I don't know, like direct family members there and shit. Like, but I could also just be fucking ignorant. I don't know.
what do you mean by that? It's good to question mainstream narratives. That's why this entire channel was created in the first place. We are here to criticize the media and the government that has a history of lying to us, especially on topics like this. If you don't think that's totally valid and normal, and you think I'm an anti-Semite for this, well, I have been called racist, sexist, homophobic, transphobic for the past 15 years. Honestly, what is one more to add to the list? When this all initially popped off, one of my first tweets about this was this. Many people were confused as to exactly what I was talking about, so let me explain it simply. There are people in our government right now who believe in a biblical prophecy about Israel. Pete Hegseth, Lindsey Graham, Mike Pompeo, Ted Cruz, Mike Johnson, Mike Huckabee, and many, many others believe a massive war surrounding the Middle East will bring Jesus Christ back. They want this. To them, this is the good ending. We'll all be saved.
Like, actually?
Great. Awesome. Unfortunately, many Americans and many people all around the world will die in a giant nuclear war. Not great. Bad, even. This particular religion is called dispensationalism, a type of evangelical Christianity that became popular in the 20th century. That's right, today we are talking about the EQ, the evangelical question. Evangelicals are one of the largest religious groups in America, and they are a huge, important voter bloc. Important detail to remember. What you have to understand is evangelical Christianity is absolutely fucking obsessed with the end times. This isn't just like an offhand thing that's mentioned in the Bible and they bring up sometimes. No, this is like their whole fucking thing. It's like all their talks, their sermons, their books. Basically, they are extremely horny for the end of the world. And many of those people are in the president's ear right now.
Strike and strike and strike
Crazy,
and strike and strike and
crazy
strike and
work.
strike and strike. For angels are being released right now. Angels are being dispatched right now.
What the actual fuck? Does she have Tourette's?
That schizo is Paula White Cain, Trump's current spiritual advisor. Like most evangelicals, she considers Israel her spiritual home, thinks Christians should be mandated to go to Israel in order to go to heaven, and believes that backing Israel is a biblical mandate. Now, what the f am I talking about? What do these people mean by biblical mandate? Well, thanks to the Scofield Bible, a version of the Bible that placed little like notes next to everything that explained the biblical text, evangelicals believe it is their duty to protect Israel. You're probably thinking like, okay, so what? Like, we have overlapping interests with Israel. Who cares if these evangelicals want to protect Israel, right? Well, there's a little more to it. Basically, the evangelical dispensationalist belief goes like this. Step 1. The Jewish people return to the land of Israel. Step 2. Israel becomes the main character in a massive war. Step 3. Global destruction called the tribulation occurs. Step 4. Armageddon happens. And step 5.
What
Jesus
the
Christ
actual
returns.
fuck? Is this is real? Wait, what?
Behold, the fruits of Martin Luther. To get my biases out of the way a little bit, I was born and raised Catholic. Baptized, communion, confirmation, catechism class for years, all that stuff. I stopped caring for a while. I had like a edgy atheist stage as a teenager. Then I was agnostic for a while, and then in 2020, when I moved back home during COVID, I returned to Catholicism. Needless to say, I am comfortable with identifying as Catholic again today. I don't talk about this shit because it's not relevant, but it's relevant here. I have many Protestant friends, a few are evangelical. This isn't to like hate on them, even though I'm gonna be making jokes, but it's just to shine a light on a heavy bias some people in power may have towards the Middle East. If a bunch of Catholics were in power pushing for us to go to war for the Vatican or something, that would also be a conversation worth having. But that is not happening right now. And if you're wondering why Ted Cruz suddenly out of nowhere is sharing like 10,000 word AI slop Twitter essays about how Catholics are parasites, it's
What
because he's
the
butthurt that
fuck?
Catholics don't believe in the same doomsday prophecy about Israel as him and other evangelicals do. Catholics
That's
are not
crazy.
religiously obligated to support Israel. Same with Orthodox and honestly, most branches of Christianity. Evangelical Protestants, on the other hand, don't know how to fucking read and think the modern state of Israel is the same Israel mentioned in the Bible. This would be like the fry cook at McDonald's being named Jesus and you falling to your knees and worshiping him as the savior. And then
Okay, so like full context. My family is not religious. Like we have never been religious. So like I have a very basic understanding of like Christianity and stuff, but like I have never followed any religion. So hearing about shit sometimes is like absolutely insane. Like I don't judge anybody for like what they believe in, but it's just like I guess as somebody who's like not raised in it, it just seems so fucking wild. Like it just seems kind of crazy. I'm not gonna lie. And like I get that it's all about like this belief system and like having faith, but like I feel like if you're like not raised in it, like the idea of like faith is just like such a weird concept. Like what do you mean I just have to like have faith that like Sky Daddy is gonna take care of me if I'm a good person? Like I don't know. It's just like hard for me to comprehend at like a deep level.
and blowing up the world for him.
I came into Congress 13 years ago with the stated intention of being the leading defender of Israel in the United States Senate. And I've worked every day to do that. Growing up in Sunday school, I was taught from the Bible, those who bless Israel will be blessed, and those who curse Israel will be cursed. Where does my support for Israel come from? Number one, because biblically we're commanded to support Israel. But number two,
Hold on.
I'm not holding on.
Hold on. You're a senator, and now you're throwing out theology, and I am a Christian, and I am allowed to weigh in on this. We are commanded as Christians to support the government of Israel?
We are commanded to support Israel.
To think all of this could have been avoided if we simply named Israel Sand, New Jersey. Dispensationalists take the Bible extremely literally. They're basically like the autism of Christianity, which is why so many Protestant evangelicals in our government are Zionists. Now, let's discuss the word Zionist, because I know that word like makes some of you cringe, and I don't blame you, because it's kind of just like thrown around so haphazardly today. It basically means nothing anymore. There are Zionists of all races and religions. Not all Jewish people are Zionists. Not all Zionists are Jewish. Most Zionists in our government are not Jewish. So don't let them ever guilt trip you into thinking you're anti-Semitic for criticizing people like Ted Cruz. Also, it's not anti-Semitic to criticize the Jewish people in our government either. Like Randy Fine, bro is a freak. There is a reason the first time I
What? Wait a second.
Semitic for criticizing people like Ted Cruz. Also, it's not anti-Semitic to criticize the Jewish people in our government either, like Randy.
Diabetes build. Diabetes build. This man has bigger tits than me. Diabetes build. That man is 2 pieces of chocolate cake away from death. Holy fucking shit. Holy fucking shit. Please don't do this to yourself. Like, I am not fatphobic, but like there is a line where it becomes harmful to you, and like this is past that line. Like, please take care of yourself, twin. Holy shit.
Fine, bro is a freak. There is a reason the first time I shook Netanyahu's hand, I did not wash it until I could touch the heads of my children. What the f***? Anyway, contrary to popular belief, Zionism does not mean when you like passively support Israel as like a good ally to have in the Middle East. That is not what being a Zionist is. It's like a whole ideology. It's like a movement. Now, one of the major characters who believes in this like doomsday lore anime is Lindsey Graham. If you don't know who Lindsey Graham is, you've probably seen him on Fox News a few times. He's been on like every single night the past 3 weeks. To make it short, he is the senator of South Carolina, and he is a notorious neocon warhawk. He has never met a war he didn't like. He is basically the real-life version of the Holden Blood Feast meme. That is Lindsey Graham. So Lindsey, girl's name by the way, believes that defending Israel is God's will and has said things like,
if America pulls the plug on Israel, God will pull the plug on us.
And I wouldn't blame anybody if they assumed he was the senator of Tel Aviv and not the senator of South Carolina. When his own state was hit with a massive hurricane, bro said this.
Elon Musk for that. But look, you know, I've been going all over South Carolina like most people. I hadn't slept much. But look what's going on in Israel. They're running out of ammunition in Israel. We have to help our friends.
The man even outright says he would support a foreign country over the citizens of America.
All the anti-Semites to all the isolationists, I don't believe. Forget it.
You can about what your job is, sir.
I will be with Israel to our dying day.
The anti-Semites and the isolationists? The isolation, saying you aren't with Americans and are with a foreign country is so fucking insane for a United States politician to say. How is this guy still in office? This is like borderline treasonous.
Israel and the United States, you just wait to see what comes in the next 2 weeks.
The next 2 weeks meaning what?
We're gonna blow the hell out of these people.
I'm sorry.
Excuse
We're gonna what?
me?
It's not war if the balls don't touch. Okay, so Lindsey Graham and Ted Cruz are weird, American last freaks who believe this doomsday shit, but like, who cares, right? There's a bunch of those guys, like, who gives a f what they believe? Well, here's the issue. Ted Cruz and Lindsey Graham might be the little birdies in Trump's ear pushing us to do this war.
I urged the president to launch this attack. As you noted, I was with him pretty much the entire day on Friday before the attack launched on Saturday. Pretty much the whole time he was asking me what I thought we should do on Iran.
And Lindsey Graham apparently had direct contact with Netanyahu. To help make the case on Iran, Graham traveled several times to Israel in recent weeks, meeting with members of the country's intelligence agency. "They'll tell me things our own government won't tell me," he said. He spoke with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, coaching him on how to lobby the president for action. Netanyahu showed the president intelligence that persuaded Trump to go ahead, Graham said. "Ah yes,
That is not the flex you think it is. That you're like an elected government official and you don't even like get the intel or like the courtesy of information that a foreign country gives you. That's not a flex.
Netanyahu, someone we should definitely listen to when it comes to this subject.
There is no question whatsoever that Saddam is seeking and is working and is advancing towards the development of nuclear weapons. No question whatsoever.
No question whatsoever. It's crazy how I literally warned about this happened. Like months ago, I literally warned the administration, keep away from Lindsey Graham. Trump, listen to me. Wait, Trump doesn't watch this shit. Vance, listen to me. Get people like Lindsey Graham far away from anyone in power right now. This little Venezuela stunt was cute, but we are not touching any other country. We are not touching the Middle East, especially. No more Middle East. We all have Middle East fatigue.
Why is she so
I just
fucking
need to say,
smart?
I don't like being correct about this stuff. I would rather be wrong. I would love nothing more than to be fucking wrong about everything. If we don't put boots on the ground, if we don't create a new forever war, that would be the best thing ever. You can come back to this video and say, na boo boo, you were wrong. And I would be like, hell yeah. Fantastic. That would be wonderful. I will personally write a handwritten letter apologizing to Cat Turd for not trusting the plan. I don't know what the f is gonna happen. All I know is I saw a commercial for the military with white men in it. So, not a good sign. And right now, as I am making this video, our good friend Lindsey Graham is talking about putting boots on the ground.
Here's what I tell President Trump. Keep it up for a few more weeks. Take Carg Island, where all of the resources they have to produce oil. Control that island. Let this regime die on a vine.
Is this going to, though, take Carg Island? Is it going to involve U.S. troops on the ground?
We did Iwo Jima. We can do this.
We did Iwo Jima. We can do this.
That's not how this works, Gwen.
For those unaware, Iwo Jima was one of the most brutal battles of World War II. About as many Americans died in that battle than all of the Iraq and Afghanistan war combined. This guy's a fucking freak, dude. Also, who the f is we? We? You enlisting Lindsey Graham? Bitch.
Well, we have the best chance in 2,000 years when Iran is neutralized.
I'm sorry, I thought this war started in 1979, when the Iranian Revolution overthrew the puppet government we installed in the 1950s. But I guess I was wrong. This war actually started 2,000 years ago. That's right, it's not about weapons of mass destruction. It's not about bringing democracy to Iran. Turns out we're fighting an ancient desert war. Exactly what MAGA voted for. Another factor that is relevant to these warmongers banging on the war drum is, of course, money. Ted Cruz and Lindsey Graham receive a ton of money from AIPAC. Many politicians in our government are paid by AIPAC, Democrat and Republican, which is why you probably don't see a ton of anti-Iran war stuff coming from even the Democrats, when they would usually jump on literally anything to make Orange Man look bad. The only thing Democrats and Republicans can agree on is protecting pedophiles and war. Great. AIPAC stands for the American Israel Public Affairs Committee. Now, you might sometimes see people bring up like AIPAC money, like, oh, this guy takes AIPAC money. And maybe some of you don't really understand like why that's a big deal. So I'm going to explain it in a nuanced way you can hopefully understand. The reason why people don't like big money being involved in politics in general is because it can literally purchase the way a politician will govern. For example, if a billionaire CEO of a health insurance company donates to a politician, you can bet that politician is probably not going to advocate for things like socialized healthcare or anything like that. And if a candidate takes a lot of money from something like AIPAC, that is a sign they will probably have a heavy bias toward war in the Middle East. That's why people prefer when a candidate only takes like small donations from voters. There's no corporations, billionaires, or foreign governments.
But like that doesn't happen,
pulling the strings
right?
there. Like how I take money from you. The people. I am funded directly by Big Simp. Some politicians get paid a lot by
I fucking
AIPAC,
love her.
and some politicians sell out for the price of a Big Mac and fries. Yikes. Weird fact, one of the top donors to AIPAC was actually the creator of OnlyFans who died recently. He gave like millions of dollars to AIPAC, and AIPAC gives millions of dollars to the people in Congress. So in a weird way, our government was partially funded by OnlyFans whores.
That's crazy.
Checks out. But you gotta understand,
crazy
a
fucking
lot of
work.
these guys would do it for free. Hypothetical. One country must no longer exist. A, the United States. B, Israel.
This can't be fucking real.
Read Revelations and report back. When people talk about the separation of church and state, this is the shit they're talking about. What the f***? Like, what do you mean as an American politician saying he would rather the nation he allegedly serves be destroyed over evangelical Wakanda? Get this guy out of here! I actually responded to this guy, and we had a little Twitter fight, and he just told me to read the Bible. There are people in charge of our country right now who believe we have to go to war for a biblical prophecy. That is a giant, major conflict of interest. We need to be asking people like Ted Cruz and Lindsey Graham, Mike Huckabee, Mike Johnson. We need to be asking all these evangelicals in office the same exact question. Also, I just checked how much this guy gets paid from AIPAC, and whoa, buddy!
Oh, shit.
Okay, so here's where it gets schizophrenic as f. While I am telling you this, please keep in mind, I don't believe this. This is what they believe. Because as I was writing this, I felt like a crazy person. With the evangelical doomsday lore, there is something called the Third Temple. In Judaism, there were two temples.
I've literally never heard of
The
those.
first temple built around 10th century BC, and the second temple rebuilt around the exile. And the third temple is this idea that a new Jewish temple will be built on the Temple Mount in Jerusalem to help usher in end times. Also, interesting side note here, Jewish people, especially Orthodox Chabad Jews, who are basically like the evangelicals of Judaism, believe building this temple will not bring on the end times, but the Messianic Age, otherwise known as the Golden Age, where everyone will live under Noahide laws, where the concept of worshiping Jesus would basically be illegal. Meanwhile, the evangelical end times, the Jews will convert to Christianity. So Christians and Jews are both looking to build this thing for very different reasons that do not complement each other at all, yet they are both working together to do it, and both think they will be right in the end. Pete Hegseth, our Secretary of War, has openly talked about rebuilding the Third Temple.
And there's no reason why the miracle of the reestablishment of the temple on the Temple Mount is not possible.
Man, we just want affordable homes and groceries. What is this shit? And Pete Hegseth, according to the president, is apparently the guy who does not want the war to end.
I said, Pete and General Raisin Kane, I think this thing's going to be settled very soon. Here they go. Oh, that's too bad. Pete didn't want it to be settled.
So, what is so bad about rebuilding this temple? If none of this is true, like, who gives a shit? Like, freedom of religion. Well, here's the issue. If the goal is to trigger a massive war in order to get Jesus to return, they will do shit to make that happen. They will want to destroy and destabilize the Middle East, and they will use your sons and daughters to do it for them.
I go back to South Carolina, I'm asking them to send.
Okay, like, that's actually diabolical, because, like, think about it. Like, they believe in something. Okay, so, like, this is what doesn't make sense. They, like, believe in something so much that, like, they kind of, like, force it to happen, is what she's saying. And, like, if it's something that you believe is, like, a biblical prophecy, like, shouldn't you, like, not have to, like, force it? Like, again, I'm not religious. I was never religious. I was not raised religious. But, like, it's, like, prophesized. It's, like, supposed to happen, right? Like, you shouldn't, like, have to make it happen, right?
And their sons and
Am I
daughters
fucking
over the
retarded?
Mideast.
Like,
Wow, the
do I not
childless
understand?
warmonger with no stake in the future and moles on his ass wants our children to go fight and die in another pointless war? That last thing is true, by the way, about the moles. Look it up. Actually, don't. You'll regret it. Don't. Also, the area they want to build this temple thing on already has, like, a big mosque on it called the Al-Aqsa Mosque. I don't know how to fucking say that. And destroying this site would have like devastating consequences for the Middle East and for us. Not that they care. Just keep an eye out if that Al-Aqsa Mosque gets conveniently destroyed by a rogue Iranian missile or something in the upcoming days of this war. So yes, it is a holy war. We are being non-consensually dragged into a holy war by 3 different sets of desert people, just as I started to get my life together. Now here is the important question. Could all this doomsday talk these politicians are saying out loud just be religious pandering to the massive evangelical population that votes for the GOP to get them to vote for a war that is ultimately about, you know, like land and weapons and territory or whatever the Yes, absolutely yes. It could all be bullshit. They might not actually believe it. I mean, a bunch of politicians, like, they're going to islands and like rape kids. You think these people believe in God? But remember, like I said, many do. Sometimes people really do believe in things and they will kill and die for them. Or, you know, make you go kill and die for them. I know it's hard for people to understand this. They understand it perfectly well when it comes to radical Islam, when Muslims will like blow themselves up for Allah or whatever the Yet when it comes to other religions, like, they can't really comprehend it. Just because you don't believe in something doesn't mean that people who do won't do crazy shit. Like, because they believe in something. U.S. commanders across more than 30 military bases told troops the Iran war was part of God's plan and linked it to Armageddon. A commander said Trump was anointed by Jesus to light the signal fire in Iran.
Ain't no way anybody actually believes this.
To cause Armageddon.
Ain't no way.
The Military Religious Freedom Foundation says it has received over 110 similar complaints describing the war as biblically sanctioned and a sign of the Christian end times.
Okay, look, I'm not really like... I'm kind of like... Oh god, I don't want to get fucking canceled. I have very complex feelings about Trump. But anybody who thinks that he was anointed by God is crazier than I am. Like, what the fuck? Like, how retarded do you have to be to like believe that? I'm so sorry. Like, I try to be incredibly understanding and like tolerant of people, but like that's actually retarded.
So here's the question. Does Trump believe in this? No.
No,
I don't think so. But the people around him do, and they talk about it all the time. And after Trump was like a millimeter away from being brutally and horrifically assassinated on live TV, probably not good or healthy that he has people like Mike Huckabee in his ear, the United States ambassador to Israel, saying this in regards to bombing Iran. Mr. President, God spared you in Butler, Pennsylvania to be the most consequential president in a century, maybe ever. The decision on your shoulders I would not want to be made by anyone else. You have many voices speaking to you, sir, but there is only one voice that matters. His voice. I am your appointed servant in this land, and I am available for you. But I do not try to get in your presence often because I trust your instincts. No president in my lifetime has been in a position like yours. Not since Truman in 1945. I don't reach out to persuade you, only to encourage you. I believe you will hear from heaven, and that voice is far more important than mine or anyone else's. You sent me to Israel to be your eyes, ears, and voice, and make sure our flag flies above our embassy. My job is to be the last one to leave. I will not abandon this post. Our flag will not come down. You did not seek this moment. This moment sought you. It is my honor to serve you. Mike Huckabee. Not since Truman in 1945. What did he mean by this, chat? In conclusion, evangelical Wakanda is an interesting aspect to all of this to consider. It might not be the only cause of the war. I don't think it is. I think there's many different reasons. But I think it is pretty important to consider the fact that there are people in power right now who are very close to the President of the United States who may be a teeny itsy bitsy bit biased when it comes to war in the Middle East. Also, draft Lindsey Graham. That is all. Thank you for your attention to this matter.
Alright, so that's gonna be the end. She's just gonna say like subscribe and stuff, but like Here is why I think she was based. Like, I really do feel like while she puts like a satirical spin on things, that she makes a lot of like really good points, and she does really try to be kind of like in the middle. Like, I think she's like me, where like I'm not on either side. Like, I just don't like politicians, I don't trust them. And I want the government like involved in my life as little as possible. And I think that that's like a normal take. Like, I think that's a pretty base take. But like, I don't know, talking about politics is like super weird because I'm like so young. And then also, like, I live in an area where like everybody thinks the same. And so, like, if you think differently than that, like, you are like not like you're very heavily judged and stuff. So, like, I think that it's really hard to really form like your own independent thoughts and opinions on this shit. But like I said, I think that we need more people like her who really go out of their way to research like every angle of things so that they can present them to people like me who is not going to put the effort into it. So, base is always Mommy Shoe. I love you. And to everybody watching this, I will see you either later on Twitch for our stream, or I will see you in the daily video starting tomorrow. I hope that you have a fantastic day.